Let me get ready for you all. I'm sorry. Hello, I'm there. I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, it's 12:01. It's already after 12 o'clock. And I'm like, I'm moving slow, obviously, because I'm ready to go, 12:01. And I know you all are looking forward to this TGIFF. So here I am. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where, good evening, depending on where you are in the world, because we've been blessed to have people from all over the world lately catching up with us. I've been on the phone recently with Brazil, Panama, Portugal. I mean, it's just so great to have people talking to you and I from various parts of the world to find out how to get more grants now and to partner with me. People from different parts of the United States have contacted me to talk about how we can even partner together, share resources to expand what God has called me to do. I'm honored, I'm humbled, and I'm glad to be here with you today. Let me give a shout out to my publisher and producer, my good friend and family, the Chuas, Mark and Doris there in the Philippines. Hello, hello, hello. Thank God for you. And then all of you right here in the United States and the rest of the world, I bid you a great Friday. It is a good day to be alive. It's a great day because the Bible has taught me that this is the day that the Lord has made, and I shall rejoice and be glad in it. And I'm asking you to be excited right along with me as we prepare to work with you and talk to you and get things together for our future. Hello, Sister Waller. Good to see you here today. You know when I'm reaching everybody, I'm speaking to folk on New Birth on my camera that's above my head. They wave, so I have to touch it and let them know that I see them. So I acknowledge the people from my church and from my faith-based community who log on to learn things that maybe they're not already aware of. So again, I want to say thank you. Let me do this. I got to do this because when I saw the post that my friend Brother Mark and them posted today, I was excited because that post looked so good. I just got to thank him for making me look so well. Everybody always asks, well, Pastor Willie, do you do this yourself? No, no. I have someone, him and his wife are on the team, and as a part of the team, they do so much good work, not just for me, for a few others, but I'm very grateful for the way they make me look right here on Facebook so that I can talk to you all and connect with you all. Let me back up a little and go back a couple weeks. At the beginning of the month, we did our webinar from startup to sustainability, the first Friday of the month. Last week we did the replay. I hope you were able to get to it. And I intentionally did that and left it up on till I believe Monday, so that you could go back and watch how to get your vision from the paper to the pavement, and how to get your organization from startup to sustainable. And we want to help you do that. And so many people have connected with me and wanted to know how. I still got people waving online, and how we can either partner or whatever. I'm always open to conversations. And then a lot of you, and Mark and I and Doris tell you to send us your questions, write them out on Facebook, or connect to my email and send it to me directly, or message me on Messenger, which many of you all do, and I try to respond at least weekly. But when you send me a question, I want to try to answer that, and I want to do it even live right here. And so for those who are asking questions, I'm trying my best to get to the question, and I have a few today that I'm going to specifically, which is the topic today. What is the funder looking for? How do I, and some folks are saying, well, how do I become a nonprofit? And I have a new individual that asked the question, which was one of the rare ones. How do I do nonprofit business plans? And yes, I do. I rather would teach you how to do it, because I want everybody to understand that TGIFF, this marketplace coaching, is really designed to help you learn how to be prepared for funding opportunities, RFPs, which is request for proposal, how to get more grants now. And so when I'm talking to you, I'm helping you, I'm coaching you, and I'm asking you to make notes so that you can know how to write this stuff down, so that you can get the information you need. And it really, for an individual like me, some of the things that I'm going to give you like today, if you have all of that wrapped up already, then it's a lot easier to go after a grant or to find the funder that can fund you, because so often, you'll call an individual like me or look for a grant writer and you really don't have your ducks in a row. And that takes so much time, and especially if a grant is due at a specific time, then, if most of the time we're looking for grants, you have about a 30-day 2-3 week window, maybe a 30-day window to get those grants in. And if we have to start from scratch, it's pretty difficult to accomplish that goal for you. So some of the things that I'm giving you all in the coaching I'm helping you all with is to help you get from the paper to the pavement so you can go to work. And so if we can at least get the paper part together, then it's a lot easier, and really it's also a lot cheaper for me to help you without charging you an arm and a leg, because the amount of money we're paying and you're charging for by the hour, it's kind of expensive. Not just me, any grant writer. These things don't come free. You don't get people to spend 5, 10, 15 hours in research for nothing. It doesn't work. And I think too many people think, well, I want to go after a grant writer and, will you help me? But yes, they're willing to help you, but those hours are just like going to see a physician. You go to the doctor's office, you're billed from the moment you enter that office and until you have been cured or released to go forward. There's no difference in this type of scenario, because if you're looking for grants, people like myself, I have people call all the time. Do you have a grant that might match this or match that? Well, I'm sure I can find some. I have a large repertoire of individuals where I could look for, funding for you. But for my time, I'm a pastor, I'm a professor, and that my university job, it requires a lot of work because I have quite a few students. I have 5 classes that I teach weekly. Tuesdays is locked down. The only thing you get from me on Tuesdays is a lunch date, and that's not even on phone. I'm talking about we meet together for lunch so I can eat and get back to class. And so Thursdays is almost like that, and I finish at 5 in the evening, 5:30, around 5 in the evening on Thursdays. I'm already beat up and tired. So my main days are Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I'm like today, I'm on call now. I was on calls this morning. I have one at 1 o'clock, another one at 2 o'clock. And so time, everybody wants time. And time is costly. And so if you follow the steps that I recommend every Friday, TGIFF, when I give you tidbits, write them down and go do them yourself so that you're a lot closer to getting your vision off the paper that we talk about and onto the pavement to actually get off the ground and doing. And for those of y'all are in the middle that's already got some of those things done, then we talk a lot about how to find the right funder for your vision. And so those are the things that we do here on Fridays to remind you and to educate you. I went through that because there's a lot of individuals who ask, well, what do you do? And my book that's behind me right here on this side. I think it's on this side. No, it's on that side. There it is. There it is. I'm looking at it, and you guys see that book, Taxes and Ties. I have, right here. Also, you can go to Amazon. You can order it there. A lot of the information I talk about in there. This one is the older. The newer version should be released. My resource book, 5 R's for Successful Grant Writing. I did not get to look this week to see if it was completed to upload. You can get that as an ebook. So we're getting you ready to get more grants now. So please hang in there. Also, if you go back and review, and Mark and Sister Doris, if you want to post how to become members of the Pathway Partner Group, I'm getting my commercials in early. Become a partner in the Pathway Partner Group. The Pathway Partner Group is an organization, a part of my team, this marketplace group, where monthly we have a meeting. We get together on a monthly basis, not just TGIFF, but it's directed toward this group, and we answer questions specific to you, help coach you to what you need as an organization, help build your brand, all of those other things as a member of the Pathway Partner Group. And that's $49 a month. It's on sale right now. Normally about $65, I believe. It's on sale right now for $49 a month. and that's a minimum of a 3-month minimum membership. You can go to the post on right down here on the page. For those of you on the Newburgh page, look, go to my Pastor Willie Facebook page. You can find that information, or email me, or send me a message on Messenger, and we'll send you the link to do so. And that's really going to be more where I'm doing there you go. That's more where I'm doing most of the work. Brother Randall, good to see you today, man. I'm really glad to see you on board. And there's the link, I believe. There it is. Brother Mark and them, they have it on there already for you. And so look at it, review it. Got any questions, send me a call, give me a call, send me a message, and let's get started, because it's the best way for me to give you one-on-one without charging you a bulk a cost. Because, and you'll see some of the pricing, you'll get a price list of the type of work that we do and how we can help you. But as a membership, there's a 20% discount on everything that I do. If I'm writing a grant, if I'm doing your business plan, if I'm doing your strategic plan, if we're doing those things, then as a member of the Pathway Partner Group, you get an automatic 20% discount, and that's a big discount, because most companies, organizations are only giving out 5 and 10%. I want to bless you because you are willing to be a part of the group and part of the team to help you get where you're going, to get more grants now. When I started this vision, I was working with some people in the group called TGIFF, Young Entrepreneur Project. I began in December of 2000, I believe it was 2020, and I began as a part of that group, and I'm listening to all of the entrepreneurs that are talking about how to grow their business. But most people have some ideas, and some of the visions that you all have are for the nonprofit world, not necessarily an LLC or a partnership. Some things you want to do, you can do in the community. You want to help youth, you want to help seniors, you want to do gardens and things like that, and all of that doesn't necessarily fit in a for-profit format. And so I began to post and talk about how I can help more individuals on the nonprofit side. And even after the seminar the other week, some of you all may have seen some of the replays and the comments from some of the people who were there. Most of them say, well, the information, Pastor, you give out, it's worth its weight in gold. And truth, I'm trying to make sure I can help you. Yes, there's an income balance to all of this, but if I can help you achieve what God called you to do. My dad used to sing that song, I believe Martin Luther King even used to write about it, talk about it. If I can help somebody as I pass along, then my living is not in vain. And it's my goal to help establish nonprofits, establish you all over the world, all over the country, so that you can be a blessing to somebody else. One of my favorite movies is entitled Pay It Forward. I really like that movie because in that movie, the young man, after what was going on, the family wanted to make sure that that idea was paid forward, that somebody was blessed ahead of the game. And all of people have done for me. And if you're like me at all, somebody made a way for you. Not just Jesus, I'm talking about people on earth. God used people to open the doors. Give, it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, shall men give to you. That's the word of God. And since men have given to me, then as a man of God, I want to give back to you, and to you. And so my prayer is to help you achieve your vision, achieve your goal, so that you can go help somebody else. And yes, there's sometimes a fee involved. Please, everybody, stop complaining about paying somebody. You go to the grocery store, you ain't asking somebody to give you lettuce for free. Go, you get the best value you can get. I'm going to give you the best value for your money. Yes, I am. But I'm also going to bless you in the midst of it, which is why you get 20% off of anything that I help you do. Is that all right? I wish somebody give me an amen. So today, I spent 15 minutes reminding everybody of what we do, and that was one of the questions that was asked for Pastor Willie. What do you really do? Now you have a clear understanding, and if you log in and get the Pathway Partner, what is it called, the profile, you'll see more and more of what I do and how I do it and how I might be able to help you. Thank you, Brother Randall, and how I may be able to help you. And then, if you know others, tell somebody. You know, tell somebody. Let them know. You know, I'm connected to this guy named Pastor Willie. At least check him out because he's linked. And you know, if anyone wants to know my experience, when you go to my webpage or one of my links, it shares my experience. I've got 20 years plus on this, and not only here, I'm a professor at the Youngstown State University, where one of the classes, the programs that I teach is called Communities and Organizations, nonprofit and business for the communities and organizations. I teach how to get organizations together, communities and neighborhood groups together. It's part of the curriculum I teach, and I've been doing it for so long at YSU. In fact, I'm the only professor teaching that and it's called the macro level work. From the macro side, micro is working with the individuals and families. Meso is working with community, and macro is those that make the policies and those that make the rules and that get stuff done. So, you know, I do have, you know, quite a few years of experience on all sides. I've run my own nonprofit for over 20 years and raised over, you know, millions of dollars for my organization. Most of that is now through contracts, not just grants and loans, contracts. I've helped several other businesses around the world, around the country, help get theirs off the ground. So I don't come just because, you know, I like to talk. Believe me, I'm busy, but I've been called to help somebody, and I hope that somebody is you. All right. With that said, one of the questions was asked, well, what do funders really want when you're looking for funding? When they, you know, they'll release what we call an RFP, a request for a proposal. And in that request for proposal, there's several guidelines that they look for. Very interesting, because I got a call yesterday, and someone said, well, can you help me write a grant? Sure, I can help you write a grant. But what is the grant for? What are you looking for? And they really was looking for a business, getting a business, you know, contract versus getting a grant, because too often people at LLCs and other for-profit businesses also think that they can get grants. Now, that's not what the grant funders are not trying to help you make a profit for your business. Most grant funders, they want to help you provide a service to the community in which they serve. And one of the great things that we want to remember this, most funders will fund a program that they're interested in also. If they're looking to fund program, if you're working with youth, then you want to look for a funder who wants to put money into the youth in your neighborhood for whatever reason, education, job development, health reasons. They're willing to fund a youth program. So those are the funders you look for, not to build your building, not to pave your parking lot, not to put lights outside. There are ways to get that done within the funding opportunity, but that's not what funders want. And so when we look for funders, we take your vision and we match that vision with funders. That's why the research is so important, all right? And so when you're looking to provide the information for a funder, I'm gonna give you 8 things right now that if you begin to work on them, and for the record, around here somewhere, I've got a list. Here we go. I've got a list of things, and it's also in my book. I call it the HR forms, and the documents are what we call a tracking sheet. I have this actually. When you're part of the Pathway Partner Group, you get this tracking sheet so that you can begin to identify what you have and what you don't have. And that's how we help build your organization so you can go from startup to sustainability. It really tells most of the people I work with how far away they actually are. And so once you become a member, that's one of the documents we call a survey that you get. But in short today, we want to help you identify 8 required informations that funders are looking for. And the first one is a brief history and the purpose of your organization. We call it a narrative. I was sharing that with the young lady who called yesterday. You know, they want to know your narrative. What is your organization really about? You know, and when you want to tell them about your narrative, you want to explain to them, you know, some history. It's difficult to start a business today and go get a business loan tomorrow because you have no history. It's no different with a nonprofit. It's hard to start a nonprofit today, and then Monday I want to write a grant for $50 and $100,000 to fund my nonprofit when I don't have any history of anything I've done. And so it's really good to get started, hello, so that you can begin to set up some form of track record of things that you do. All right? So they want a brief history and the purpose of your organization, not just how long, but what do you really do? What is the actual goal of your organization? What do you really intend to do? And it needs to be brief. It doesn't have to be a week long in a 4 and 5 page letter. What do you intend to do? CCE, the Center for Community Empowerment, at my organization, we're there to empower disadvantaged families towards self-sufficiency. That's our mission statement. And within the mission statement, which should be included in your brief history, in my mission statement, I'm able to explain how we empower this. Our target audience is what? Disadvantaged family, not necessarily a race or ethnicity. It's disadvantaged family. That's my target audience. And we outline it where on the east side or in Youngstown or in Ohio, depending on where I'm writing that grant. I can expand or I can decentralize some of that information. So when you do your mission statement, keep in mind that mission statement should be able to be used to explain everything we do. And remember, try to make your mission statement an elevator pitch. Some people get on that elevator, they may only be going 2 floors. If they ask what you're doing, you ought to be able to say that within that time. Then they want a description of the governing structure. You're including the names of your board members, your staff, and you can begin to write down, well, I only got 1 person on my board. Who? Well, you need to establish a board of directors with a minimum of 3. I recommend a minimum of 5 individuals, so that if you have to vote on something, it's legal, it's documented, and you're able to show a funder where we agreed to do this. Even the person that signs off on the loan, or on the grant rather, that board is giving you a legal document that gives you the approval of the board to seek money for that organization. Those are documents that we use. Again, most organizations are not aware of it. A little bit of that. If a bank or whoever's giving, when we say bank, the foundation of the bank, ask you for that letter, then you should be prepared to have that by having board meetings and things like that. So you want a description of your governing board. Then you want copies of income and expense statement. You want to be able to show your banking. You don't have to give them the banking statement from the bank, but someone on your team, hopefully a board member or someone you pay, can give you a profit and loss statement, an income and expense statement, things like that. So they can see that you know how to handle money. You're going to ask for 20. Most funders is only asking for 5, 6,000. They don't really ask for that. But if you're going to go over 20, I would generally be prepared for anybody asking for $20,000 or more. They'd be prepared for them to ask you some form of financial information for you. They want a copy of your projected budget for the proposed grant. So if you're asking for $20,000, $30,000, the funder, if you're asking for 5, they want to know what you're going to do with that money. So you need to itemize it and be specific, and not only, we call it a budget narrative, by saying what I want to do, but then you want the actual budget breakdown. If I'm getting $5,000, I want 1,000 for computers, I want 1,000 for space, I want 1,000 for tables and chairs. Break it down, and then give the narrative of how you're going to use those dollars. Am I helping somebody here? Then you want the required contact information, name, address, phone number, fax, and email of everybody responsible for this grant. Specifically, the one that's signing it, maybe a board of directors or your trustee or treasurer, someone who can, if they can't reach you, you've got an administrator in your office, or you have someone on your board, you want to make sure that if they can't reach you, they can reach somebody. And then audits, a financial statement, an audited financial statement. Those are really for larger grants, bigger grants. Sometime in the $20,000, $50,000 range, they'll ask for that. And that's why it's difficult for new organizations to get funding in that manner, because they don't have that. But in the grant, there's a way to write that in there and stating we started 6 months ago, and here's where we are, and here's what we'll do, and we can guarantee at the end of the year, this organization is going to give you, they'll respond to this at the end of the grant season. So there are ways to accomplish the same goal, but these are things they ask. Most of these 8 things I'm talking about is what most funders ask for. And if you have them ready, when it comes to asking someone to help you write a grant, really, I can show you how to do your own grant just with this information right here. Most recent annual report. The annual report is the statement. Most organizations do it at the end of every year. They write up everything, including the financials, the things that have been done, the board of directors, all of the people involved, the program that was run, and you make a little booklet out of it. It's called the annual report. Most organizations, especially the larger ones, it's very easy to call a large organization and say, hey, can I get a copy of your annual report? And then a copy of the IRS determination letter verifying that you are tax exempt. Let me make this clear. Most organizations that are tax exempt, you get once you complete your 1023, whether it's the easy form or long, they'll send you a determination letter. You want to make sure you have your EIN number when you make those applications, because usually that's the same number that's placed on your determination letter. Also, wherever you are in the country, in the United States, I get a lot of requests from Canada and other parts of the countries. Without being direct with you, I have to research and tell you how to make sure that this is done. But here in the United States, most of your state business offices can give you what you need in order to become legal. You can become a nonprofit through your state. You're not tax exempt, but you are a legal nonprofit. And so I want to make sure that you know that, and you can use that to still apply for grants by sharing with a funder that my tax exempt status is pending. You can write that into the grant somewhere, and generally if you filed for your tax exempt information, we can send the letter, or we can give a copy of the letter when it was filed, so that they know that you are a legal nonprofit through the state. There's a thing called the Delaware Corporation, where through the Delaware Corporation you can live anywhere in the United States and file for a Delaware Corporation, a nonprofit through Delaware, but you're not tax exempt yet, but you are a legal nonprofit. There are so many ways to accomplish this vision and this goal that many of you all have asked about and want to do. And so today I just wanted to make sure I helped everybody at least understand, if you're going to seek grants, what are the things that people want from you in order to get those grants. These are those. So if you go back and watch the video, contact me, you'll find these 8 things that I just reviewed: the brief history and purpose, the description of the governing structure, the copies of income and expense statement, a copy of the projected budget, a copy of your required information at the board of directors and who's going to write and be responsible, your most recent annual report, and a copy of your IRS determination letter. And when you give them, or you have them in a file, you're almost ready to get what you need. Again, I'm Pastor William. My goal is to help get you where you can go so that you can take your vision off of the paper onto the pavement and start your organization and be able to sustain it down through the years. And I thank you for your time today. I really appreciate it. Don't forget, every Wednesday, 9 a.m. I apologize for this Wednesday. I had a doctor's appointment and it went longer than I went early so that I could be here by 9, but I missed it, and I apologize for that. But every Wednesday, 9 a.m. is Pastor Willie Live. Every Friday, TGIFF. Thank God it's Faith Friday. And look forward in the next week or so, we will be announcing our March webinar, our 3-day program where you'll be able to log on, and we'll have 3 days of training for you. You'll be able to bring some of this information to the table, and guess what? We're going to help you. By the end of those 3 days, we're going to help you be able to get your grants now. So tell your friends, get ready, go back online, join Pathway Partners, and let's get this done. Hello, I'm Pastor Willie. I love you. Ain't nothing you can do about it, and I'll see you next week.